And then
start,
they got another one too, just at the Beltsville.
12 o'clock. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, first of all, I'll call the meeting to order.
Yep.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First, got the Parkford liability insurance. I see you're not here. Tim?
Yep.
Would you like to...
Okay, I've been working on this for a while, and then with Chelsea too. About a month or so ago, I visited with a gentleman by the name of Jeff down at Bender, concerning liability insurance umbrellas of different political subdivisions, and explaining to him that Park Board, to my understanding, is the only subdivision we have that can actually levy their own mills. The other ones get certain amounts, like the library gets 4. He told me that all the major cities in North Dakota, the park districts are so big that they have their own, and they can buy through Ender. He said a lot of cities your size are going to the same thing, so that, you know, they'll be under their own, instead of being under the city's umbrella, they would simply have their own insurance policy through Ender. You can see what Chelsea's printed out here. Under our umbrella, it costs the city $1,763. And I guess what I'm proposing is that, being how the time for them to figure this into their budget and figure this into the mills that they request has passed, that my recommendation is that we pay the extra $1,483 for just this following year, but that the Park Board goes under their own insurance policy. That way, if there's any questions on their property, any accidents on their property, where there would be a liability issue, it wouldn't fall back on the city. It would be under their insurance policy. So I would move that we would pay the extra $1,483 and that they would go on their own insurance policy. It's October 12th, right? Is the anniversary date, I believe? Yep.
You pay just for this year, the 14th.
Just for this following year coming up, yep. And after that, then they would figure into their own budget and their request for mills, and then they would take up the expense of it after this 23 into 24.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, discussion. So their actual premium is $32.50.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
So,
But they will be responsible for that after this year. So,
right.
But being how it came after the fact, that they can no longer figure that into their budget and their request for mills, that will
Right.
pick up the extra 14.
So just to be clear, so right now, it's $1,763.
Yep.
Is what the city is paying for their
Correct.
share.
Yep.
And
For them to be under
for them to be
our
on their
umbrella.
own, it would go up another $1,483.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Any other questions? Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And we can work on that motion later.
Real quickly, we're gonna move to the dump trailer, since Colin is here. So, you know, we ordered that new pickup. It's a 1-ton. We specifically did a 1-ton so that we could get a dump trailer to pull behind. That was the reason for the 1-ton. I was looking through Bizman, and I happened to see this 2017 dump trailer for sale. And it just happened to be Colin's. So I hurried up and called him up, and I said, you know, since we're looking for one, can you put it on hold until we have this meeting? I mean, it's in immaculate shape. Just for comparison, I did look up some 2023 prices. These are for PJ trailers, which aren't built quite as well as the load trail. There was a price, it was from Ohio, I found $17,187 for a new one, and the 2023 price at Extreme Sales in Mandan was $14,990. So this is like $4,000 cheaper at the very least.
And I think I'm the last one that used it, right? Yeah.
Here's all the specs.
Colin borrowed it to me, and I pulled it down to the edge of the column area. It's like brand new, you know,
Yeah,
very
it
good
is.
shape.
Yeah, you can see from the pictures that it was in really, really good shape.
Yeah, and it's sitting out there if anybody wants to look at it. But, You know, I will make a motion that we purchase this 2017 dump trailer from Cullen.
Okay.
For $11,000
$11,000.
to be taken out of sales and use tax.
Do we get a warranty with it?
Wait a minute, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a second. Okay, now you can ask the discussion.
No, I'm just kidding.
one.
Yeah.
All right, forever. All right, any other discussion?
And the
Tim?
taillights work, because I checked them. Yes.
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 Yes, okay. Now, we are going to special assessment process. Eric, you can come on up if you want.
Come on up.
So, I will let you guys take over. Everybody has a map. You want to hand that map down, or you got an extra
I
map?
got a couple.
Oh, you got extra map, okay.
You took my map.
I know, he needs a map. He needs a map. I don't need a map, I know it. So we're looking at a special assessment, or we're looking at street repair in Pleasant Acres and Sundown Park, 4th Edition, which is highlighted in the little yellow roads on the map. Chelsea, we've had quite a few people up there kind of wondering when their streets are going to be done, correct? So,
Yeah, a few
yeah,
have asked when it's gonna be
yeah.
done.
Just to clarify, this is what we went over previous meeting?
Yes,
correct? Oh, yeah,
yes.
sounds good.
You've even been talking to me about it, and like, I don't know. Client's like, oh geez, you were supposed to get one. I'm like, well,
Okay, so,
You will.
do we take it over to you now, David,
well,
or what do we do here?
Eric, put together this map, as you can see, and based on what Larry said was the decision, the district with the consulting with the engineer was that it's gonna be the streets in that are highlighted in, but the whole district would be the whole city limits for assessment by the assessment committee, similar to what they've done in the past, I guess.
We've done in the past, I think it was, what, 2 assessments or maybe 3? What is it?
The way that I understand it was done in the past is that 50%
Right.
of it was every parcel that's touching the project would pay for 50% of the project, and then the whole city limits would pay for the other 50% of the project.
I think we've done it in the last 3 assessments, I
Yeah.
believe, so, yeah.
And the assessment commissioner, assessment committee would have to, set those
Right.
those rules. And I'm not sure who's all left on that, if they exist anymore.
I don't think there's anybody,
Because
we're
they
gonna.
were past their terms or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna
so-
have to advertise.
One's passed away, one doesn't live in town, and I think one's term has expired, so we'll have to put it to the paper to get 3 new people appointed.
And I don't think we're in a big rush to have that happen yet. I think probably by next spring, summer, we'll wanna have
Right.
them formed. But, I mean, it's up to the city on how quickly you guys wanna do that, but I think we're okay yet, we're in good shape.
Well, I think the idea is to get the ball rolling now and then do what we have to do. You know, we wouldn't be bidding till next year sometime, because, I mean, the plans and specs still need to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would think that we would wanna bid it here, late winter, early spring is
Right.
what we'd try to do. That'd be a good goal to have, and,
Mhm.
there's strategy on when you bid stuff to get better prices, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
When is there a best time still?
Well, I would say, ideally, I would like to advertise, I don't know that we're gonna be able to accomplish it on this one, but
Yeah.
I would like to advertise things near the end of the year, late fall,
Right.
before Christmas season. So contractors are looking and they're lining up their work for the next year. And if you get early on their list, you might get a higher demand of contractors that are hungry, looking for work yet. But that being said, prices that change and fluctuate definitely have an impact. So you're kind of, betting or playing a little bit, like, are the prices of diesel and gas and oil gonna be higher or lower? Because that's most certainly gonna have a huge impact on a job like this too.
Right.
Really any job, you look at those things.
It's a new normal, so.
Yeah.
And we did at our last meeting, we did vote to move forward.
Yep.
This is our next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first step is to create the district, and I have a resolution here that you would create Street Improvement District 2022-1. Is that, we want to do it, or do you want to do 2023?
Whatever you think.
Okay, since we're starting in 2022, let's do it.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay,
Starting it now.
so
right?
we're creating it, and it's gonna consist of, but not limited to, the repair, rehabilitation, and reconstruction comprising of the patching, milling, or replacement of concrete and asphalt, and seal coat to existing streets within the improvement district, and to make the necessary grading and drainage improvements required therein, you know, and do whatever needs to be done. The district is of the size and form to include all properties which, in the judgment of this governing body, after consultation with the engineer planning the improvement, will be benefited, and that would include all of the lots, tracts, and parcels of land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn. And then the engineer planning the improvement is hereby authorized and directed to prepare a report as to the general nature, purpose, and feasibility of the proposed improvement to be made in and for the district, and an estimate of the probable cost of the improvement, which I think you have already.
Yeah, we do.
Done all that. So if you guys wanna entertain that,
So that's in the form of a motion, David?
yeah, it'd be a motion and a second, and then vote, roll call vote.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions on this?
Sounds good, what we were discussed for the most part, that's
Okay.
legal language.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And then the next one is what we call a resolution of necessity, and this is the resolution that gets published in the newspaper, and this is where any parcel owner within, or property owner within the city limits could submit a protest that they don't want to have it happen, or whatnot. And what happens with that, that's what the map that goes with this will also go in the paper, and then it, you know, talks about all of the things that, you know, we just talked about, that it, you know, to rehab and repair and reconstruct streets within the district. And they're gonna have it published in the paper once each week for 2 consecutive weeks. And then the owners of the property within the district may file with the city auditor within 30 days after the first publication of this resolution with written protest against the adoption of this resolution, which written protest must describe the property which is the subject to the protest, and this governing body shall meet at the city hall in Washburn. And then this, I have it blank right now, but then it would be to hear and determine the sufficiency of the written protest. The 30 days, if we did it, we could probably get it in the paper on the 6th of October. So they would have until November 6th to submit a protest, and I think your next meeting's on November 14th.
14th, yeah, and that would be just perfect.
Would that be good for you guys to put that date in there?
So what happens if somebody complains about it, then what happens?
Well, 50% of the area within the city has to protest it for it not to go through.
So if the one person or 2 people protest it, they'd still have to go along with the majority then, correct?
They wouldn't be, on the 14th, if there's, at that time when they look at it, if there's not enough of the people, then Chelsea would sign a certificate as to the insufficiency of the protest, and then you guys would
Okay.
pass a resolution to that effect, and then go forward.
Because, you know, you may get 1 or 2 that may not want to do that.
Oh, yeah, there always is.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and things like that. But, and then I do have another resolution before we get in, just to, you know, to direct, you know, detailed plans and specs, but I don't think we're really ready for that yet, are we, or?
I mean, if they would like to pass it, that's something that's my next step, is to start working on it.
Yeah, do you want to do that today too, then?
We can most certainly could, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Because I'll start working on those, and as soon as we can get those done, we'll try to get our plan down for when we're gonna bid stuff.
So this gives us all this week to get it ready for the paper, and then ask when the paper, by
What,
Tuesday of next week, so
What time do you guys normally meet?
6:30.
60, okay.
So anyway, I will make a motion to accept the resolution of necessity.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
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 Okay, then the last one that we can do right now before the protest is to approve the engineer's report and direct preparation of detailed plans and specifications for Street Improvement District 2022-1. And it basically says, be it resolved that the governing body, having received the engineering report of the general nature, purpose, and feasibility for Street Improvement District 2022-1, this report is hereby approved, and the same shall be forthwith filed with the city auditor. And then the engineer planning is authorized and directed to prepare, my wife is calling, so it's
Yeah,
just,
that's fine.
prepare detailed plans and specifications for constructions of this improvement. So,
Okay, and that one, let's see. So do we have a motion to accept the
I'll make a
resolution?
motion that we accept it.
Second.
Discussion. Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Quick question, so when we put this in the paper, do we put the engineer's estimate in there or not?
That's a good question. I don't know that we would have to put the engineer's estimate in there,
I'm
but
just
if the
curious.
city wishes to do that, I think you could. I don't remember last time when we did do.
They've never usually put that
Okay,
in there.
just a question, I didn't know.
That's, a lot of times, that's where you call the auditor and say, hey, what are
Yeah.
we
Okay.
looking at?
Okay, I'm not familiar with any of these improvements since I haven't been on this commission that long. So, we'll have some provision in there if we have a fire or something in that area, or ambulance, that will have some access homes in that area then? when
They
this
have
is
to
under
provide
construction?
access, I mean,
Okay.
there might be temporary closures for a day or whatever,
Okay,
but yeah, you know.
I was just kinda curious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty important, Bill.
Larry, in regards to putting engineer's estimates in there,
Mhm.
I feel that should go in there. Just from the standpoint that, why do we wanna have a bunch of people calling Chelsea, bugging her all day long? Hey, what's this gonna cost? Put it up front, that way it's there. You know, I mean, you're publishing something anyway, so put it out there.
This would be an estimate anyways, right?
Right, it's just an estimate, but at least it gives them something, you know, because otherwise people, well, how much is it gonna cost? And they're calling Chelsea and bugging her 5 times a day, whatever. I just don't see the point of it, just put the estimate in there.
And then there's notification to property owners on it, estimated cost, correct?
Yeah, we will be sending out, the city will be sending out letters to the property owners and just in that, yeah, where the actual work's gonna be done.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
And we basically came up with like $20,000 based on the engineer's estimate and the number of lots.
Yep.
And do you want us to be drafting any letters for you, Larry, or you guys plan on handling all that?
I think we can do that.
And are you okay with going with that $20,000 estimate? Is that what you guys determined with the way that it's been assessed prior to?
We've never given estimates before.
Okay.
We
But
just-
on
we
how
just-
how
we-
assessments have been done before, is that how you came about that?
Yeah, basically, you know, half goes here, half goes the rest of the town.
Yeah.
And we took that half, and then there was like 28, 26 lots or whatever. And we just divided that into, you know, the half of the cost.
Okay.
It's a guess. I mean, it's an estimate. It gives people an idea. Because that's always been the biggest bitch, is I wanna know what you think it's gonna cost.
Right.
You know, and when I got on the commission, I said, you know, that's what we need to concentrate on. At least people have an idea.
Yep. There's a lot of communities that do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
So would that be 20,000 per lot then?
That's the way it sounds per
Yes,
per
it'll
lot.
be
per
20,000.
lot.
It's looking at 22 right now, but yeah, roughly it's gonna be 20,000 per lot for those 60-some lots that,
Okay.
But I'm thinking that, you know, we will be putting some sales and use tax money in there like we have on other projects, you know, to help buy it down, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I say, as we get into design and towards completing final specs and drawings, the contingency that we had on that initial estimate, that preliminary estimate, will be dropping down and, you know, we'll get a more accurate
Right.
cost estimate the closer we get to it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when bids happen, then we'll know, you
Right,
know,
exactly.
what the cost will be. So that's
Yeah.
just something that, you know, that's great. The city would keep that communication out to everybody that's gonna be involved in the assessment district, so they
Sure.
know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now, would the bids go out just statewide or area states as well?
So when we advertise for bids, we put it in the official city newspaper, and then we put it on our builders exchanges.
Okay.
And those are watched and hunted by contractors all the time, so.
Okay.
they'd be
Big,
looking
big
for-
area.
Yep, it goes all across, so.
I think as far as those letters, I think we'll probably come up with a letter and then have you review it maybe.
Okay.
Is there anything specific that needs to go into these, or can it be pretty general of, like we're looking at this project, based on how it's looking, like it's gonna roughly cost you X amount of dollars?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't something that the city is required to do, or it's something that they've done before us, these letters here, so you can put it as much or as little as you want in there.
Okay.
I think putting the map in there would be a good idea, so
Right.
they have okay, this is what's going on.
Okay.
And then you could say, based off how we've assessed projects in the past, this is our initial calculation, call it, this is the estimate of what your assessment might be.
Okay.
Just like when the county sends out I think in the late fall, they send out, what estimated
Right.
tax will be for the following year.
Yeah.
So it'd be something like that, I suppose.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's what I would imagine, but it's gonna be really actually what you guys wanna
Okay.
do.
Then we'd also put in there, the hearing is on November 14th,
Right.
so. Court hearing's on November 14th, so.
Yeah.
And then when it does come back, you get more factual than this, I mean.
Yeah, we'll know a lot more accurate. Of course, with any project, but I found especially with reconstructs, there's always a balancing change order at the end where quantities weren't exactly what was planned. That can happen too, so we have a little bit of fluctuation there, but once you get the bid numbers, you're gonna know with a lot better detail what actual costs will be. Yep, so, and I would imagine that that's gonna be, like I said, late winter, early spring that we'll get those bids. What I would plan for at this point, unless things go really quickly for final plans and specs, but I don't wanna say that, cause it doesn't always happen. Nobody
Right.
can get them turned out so quickly.
Right, okay. Any other questions?
For the notice in the paper, would it be the entire project cost or like for an individual? Because we were still on the entire project cost previously.
Entire
We
project
did
cost.
feel
Oh, the entire pro-
you
okay,
don't-
gotcha.
you wouldn't be able to estimate until you know what the special assessment committee and what the panels are.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I would see it probably more appropriate to send it to the individual landowners that are in the projects, and then put it out there for everybody to see in the paper, but again, up to the city would like to want to do.
Sure.
So,
And that makes sense. I was just curious what kind of phone call she receives when we put this in there. So is it just people actually wondering the total project cost, like they're asking that?
I guess who knows what they might ask, they might call and ask, but, I mean.
I've
you
never
and Eric
been
probably
for
know
one.
better.
Never been here for a special.
I think generally,
Yeah.
a lot of it's like, what's the whole thing, and then what do you think it's gonna cost me, and that's the one that no one knows right now.
Right.
But that's, you just have to, when we know final, we'll know more, and the special assessment committee actually meets.
They ultimately decide how it's going to be specialed.
Well, yeah, you guys will approve it, but it's,
Yes,
they're the ones.
but they're the ones that,
Already work on that.
yeah.
Yeah, they do all the work and then we can say no, or yes. Might change it, so
Back to the
yeah.
drawing
So
board.
then it doesn't, technically fall back on commission as to who necessarily decides. That's what that committee's for.
Right, exactly.
I had to do it for the county.
So you're gonna have all this ready and then,
Mhm.
you want me to sign these? Well, I suppose you gotta retype that one because you wrote on it, but, and then, and Chelsea puts the paper, are you gonna put it in the paper or who's gonna be in charge of putting it in the paper?
Chelsea and I will work that deal.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it goes in by have to have it in by the 3rd or 4th, I suppose, huh? Yeah. Tuesday morning, okay. All right, any other thing on the, resolutions?
The only other thing that David covered the 30 days, and you just talked about it again, I wanted to make sure that was discussed, and, the other thing that I will be doing prior to the October 10th meeting, I think, you have an October 10th meeting looking
We
up
do.
there. I'll get a task order ready for our work. that
Oh,
we'll
right.
Bring to the commission.
Okay,
You already directed us to start final plans and specs,
Right.
but I'll have a task order that I'll
Yes.
get to bring to you guys
Yes.
to approve as well.
Okay.
For our stuff. But that's the only other thing that I had to say.
any other questions, comments?
No, I think
Okay.
we covered it.
With that, meeting adjourned.
Okay, thank you.